Hello, it is me, Intellect Man, and today I want to talk about a show that I thought had really good potential, but fumbled so bad that the problems with the ending are still stuck in my head like a tumor. Little Witch Academia. It was a very chill show. I thought it was I liked the style and I liked the mystery elements of it and I liked all the characters and how easy it was to watch. But there were some problems with it that stuck with me for a long time. Simply ridiculous problems. Okay, stuff that can be solved very easily. Which is why I want to talk about it here today to get this off my chest, okay? Get these things and see what you guys think about it, okay? So, one of the big problems in the show are the characterization of Starlight, okay? So, Starlight, in the backstory elements of the show, in the backstory, she's very, she has made her own business, and she uses performance magic that is kind of like looked down upon as a way of making people smile is her whole goal. And this makes her seem very, like, confident, and she doesn't really need help from others. Well, she's gonna accomplish her goal, and she's confident. And even if people say that won't work, she still wants to do it, right? That's how she's shown as Starlight Chariot. She is this character for, like, in the past, okay? Then you flick to the present day, and you see Ursula, right? And Ursula does not act anything like Chariot, okay? They're almost completely different characters, which makes me kind of sad because they could have just been different characters. But, of course, they have to be the same character. But if they are the same character, why is it that they don't share any of the same traits? Or even act like how you would expect them to at all? Ursula is a timid teacher. She's very timid. That's kind of like a whole thing. Like her arc. Like what she does near the ending of a story is she steps up to the main teacher. Like confidence is a whole thing. Like she's trying to be more confident and help Akko more, right? But like, how is this even close to similar to what we see in her backstory? Like, there's no connections at all. And that's not even talking about how in her backstory she straight up drained a whole bunch of people. Drained in the bad way. Straight up drained their magic powers, which you would think would, like, I don't know, affect someone mentally. Isn't there, like, laws? Is she, like, a fugitive? You know, like, she doesn't act sad about what she did, you know, like she, like, betrayed a whole bunch of people who came to watch her show. Or she doesn't seem sad about how she shot a hole in the moon, you know. I mean, I would probably have a few sleepless nights over that, not gonna lie. But she doesn't seem affected whatsoever. She is completely fine with what she did in the past, okay? She's just come to terms with it. But that just makes kind of a big old plot hole, and I don't really like it very much. And that brings me to my next point. This brings me to my actual biggest problem of the show, okay? The biggest problem of the show actually starts with one of my favorite parts of the show, okay? I'll try to set the scene, okay? So, the entire show, Akko has been struggling with having low magic ability for just the longest time. Every time she struggles with using magic, right? And throughout the entire show, it's kind of she gets bullied for not having magic. Things are just much harder for her because she doesn't have good proficiency with magic, I guess, right? And she gets like bullied from the teachers as well. Just it's not a good time, okay, to be Akko without magic in a magic school. And then in this twist, right, we see why she doesn't have any magic ability, or well, barely any. Okay, we see that it was Starlight the entire time taking her magic. Okay, so this is a very important part of the show. Okay, everything has joined to this point to show that it's not actually Arco's fault why she's kind of weak. It's because of Starlight, who she's been looking up to the entire show as well. This is the most important scene of the whole show, for sure. And it's also very emotional, you know? It's kind of sad, like, yeah, Arco's been through a lot because of Starlight. And, yeah, you didn't really expect it. But Starlight doesn't act really all that... She doesn't seem all that affected whatsoever. She's not really that concerned about it. She's a little bit like... She, like, pities her. She's like... It's like she pities her like she took the last piece of cake, you know, out of the fridge. And Arco didn't get any. That's basically how she acts. She acts pretty nonchalant about it, but that's just a bit more about her characterization than the problem that I'm about to go into. But, okay, so this is very important. Then, in the next scene, the biggest destruction of a twist that I've ever seen in my whole life, okay? This is the worst scene probably in any anime I've ever seen, okay? This is bad, okay? This is a scene that I wouldn't skip instantly and is still the worst scene I've ever seen, okay? So, she gets found by Diana, right? Arco is thinking to herself and being sad and moping about how her whole life has basically been tossed on its head by the person she looked up to, okay? Like, everything is flipped on its head. She's suddenly angry at the person she once admired, okay? This is, yeah, not the best of stuff. She's pretty emotional right now, okay? And she gets found by Diana, okay? Diana is the girl who is probably the strongest magic user in the entire show. Like, no one uses magic more than Diana, okay? Diana is, like, the pinnacle of magic ability. And you can kind of see why, because she came from, like, a magic household, and she's pretty important, you know? She's, like, the head of the house. Okay, so there's some reasons why. But she's kind of like the foil to Arco, who's just the weakest witch ever, right? And this is a really cool dynamic, because it shows them both coming from very different backgrounds, but still being able to, like, achieve kind of just as much, you know? Like, even though Diana can use magic a lot better, Arco can still, Arco has the shiny rod and can help people more than, like, the same amount Diana can, kind of. Like, they're both fighting to help people as much as they can. But it's honestly a very cool dynamic. And then it showed that Diana has had the same magic stealing treatment that Arco has had. And this is honestly just so brain dead when you think about it. It's insanely brain dead. So you're telling me that Diana, who has really known magic for, like, kind of the same amount of time as Arco, like, Arco has tried very hard to learn how to use magic, right? And Arco still has barely any magic potential at all. And then you look at Diana, and she has it very easy, you know? Her life is very magic-orientated. So, of course she's good at magic. Like, it's like, why is this... How on earth did Diana get her magic taken away from her and still be so good at magic? It takes away all the stakes. All of the stakes that were established thinking, oh, Arco might never get her magic ability back, right? Arco might never get strong because of what Starlight did. And Arco might never... half her life has been taken away because Starlight stole, like, her magic ability. But then it's just established that the strongest magic person we know in the show also had the same treatment, so Arco should just be totally fine if she just tries harder. In the scene that I'm talking about, Diana says that she has no sympathy for Arco. Okay? Like, why? Why did you do this to such a good twist? Like, such a good twist in the show is just totally ruined by this scene. Like, you make it so that it's like Arco's fault. You pushed it onto Arco for not trying hard enough. But we've seen her try so hard throughout the show. Like, why can't you just make her a bit of a victim for this? Like, she is the victim in this situation. Why is Diana acting like she's not? a victim. Yeah, so that's just disappointing. It's very disappointing. And yeah, that's pretty much all I really want to talk about. So, yeah, I'm just gonna go now. Goodbye.